Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Moving the Chains here on Team NBS Media. My name is Ashmere. If you're new here, welcome to week 8, and thank you for joining us. We have a fully stacked show today, and there's just so many good games to talk about. I feel like I'm saying that every single week, but it's true. Let's bring in Jeff and Joe, my two partners that we're always here making each other laugh, breaking things down, and just talking football. How are you guys?
I'm good. Excited.
Good
no
morning.
bye week. I like a no bye week NFL week.
Angry Greg is here. It's tough. I think Sunday night.
Shout out to Greg for holding down moving the chains. I'm not moving the chains, but holding down the last word last night because I unfortunately was on the road.
Well, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I feel like yesterday was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Yes, it
In
was.
the college football realm. All right, if you're new here, before we kick things off, we'd like to start with our rapid fire results. So please, Jeff, take it away.
Well, a lot of good and bad last week. First of all, the good. Everybody had a winning record last week. We didn't have anybody with a bad record. Joe was up there at the top of the week with me last week.
Okay.
You know,
I told you. I'm actually
there were no losers last week when it came to weekly record. On the other hand, on the season record, a little bit different. But, overall, we got through the week pretty good, except for one darn thing. We buried the unanimous curse last week, and we got through Sunday just fine. We got through Monday just fine. But on Thursday, it rose again, folks. That's right. The unanimous curse rose again with, of course, the Rams upsetting the Vikings. I just don't know, man. I just don't know. It just won't go away. So we'll see what happens today with it. But overall, when you look at the standings, Ashmere still on top. But if you look at it, it's a photo finish there because there's a guy that's sneaking up right behind her. Wait, that's me.
Yeah.
So,
My
Greg,
500 pick.
you're pulling away from Greg a little bit, which is good. And Joe's starting to come back up. We're getting closer to that 500 mark. So he keeps this up, he's going to be up in the above 500s with us. So overall, we're doing pretty well on the picks. We had a couple of rough weeks there, but we're starting to seem to figure it out.
Barely. I'm barely hanging on.
I told you. If I stop picking with my heart and start picking with my football brain, my numbers would go up.
Well, with these unanimous picks, the football brain ain't always right either. Strange lady, the NFL.
A little bit.
Well, we didn't know Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp were coming back.
True story. That's true.
You know what I mean? That was like a 24-hour notice.
Yeah,
and they came back with a bang too, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what you also saw was exactly what we talked about. When the Vikings don't have a lead,
Yes.
and Sam Darnold has to go out there and make throws consistently for 4 quarters, this is what happens. And it's not all saying it's all Sam Darnold's fault. Hey, the defense got to show up. The defense has been killing people. But this was a game where, hey, your defense was struggling, your offense had to step up, and you're not going to get that. That's just not who he is. This is what's happened in the past 2 weeks. So we're starting to see the other side of the Minnesota Vikings. I know people are going to say, well, that's a cliche with Sam Darnold. The rug always gets pulled out at some point. Sometimes you are who you are.
There you go. Shout out to Dennis Green.
Yeah.
Yes, Darisaw did hurt as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think the Rams are surprising us because at the beginning of this season, when everybody was going down, I know we were talking about some trades for Matthew Stafford. Like, I was like, maybe we could go to the rate. Everyone was like, yeah, we're not going to waste his time and potential. And now they're like, just kidding. We have our 2 lethal weapons back. It was all a joke. Like, we're just waiting till this game to beat the Vikings back to back.
Some of us had Puka Nacua on the bench as our fantasy team because we didn't have time to put him in the lineup. Great. Yeah. Still hurting from that move.
All right. Well, now that we've seen our results, let's roll into our games of the day. We're going to start off with the Bills and the Seahawks. And we haven't really talked about either of these teams these past 7 weeks because I don't think they've been in the most exciting matchup. But this is their time to shine. And I think we're going to see a lot of offense. I'm going to be quite honest. I'm anticipating a nice, heavy passing game just because of the explosiveness from both of these QBs. So to kick it off a little bit, Seahawks pass defense ranks 4th in the NFL in pressure rate at 40.4%. So what does this mean for Josh Allen? Just to kick it off right there. Joe, take it away.
It means he has to release the ball as fast as he can. So that pass rush is effective. If he's holding on to the ball, waiting for guys to get open, or even worse, if his receivers or running backs can't get open, it's going to be a long day for Josh Allen. I think he's quietly had a pretty solid season so far this year. And the Bills' offense has been pretty solid. I mean, you got Ian Coleman writing plays in his hand pretty much for Amari Cooper, and Amari Cooper scoring touchdowns. So I think if you're a Bills fan, you like what you've seen so far. But I think the stat you just gave us, Ashmere, just means Josh Allen's got to put that foot in the back, hit the ground, and get the ball as fast as he can. If he doesn't, it could be a long day for him.
Jeff, you want to follow up? Or I have another one.
Whatever you want. You're the boss, Ashmere. I'm going to go with the flow.
All right, I'm making you talk Seattle ball. So Geno Smith, opposite side, leads the league in passing yards per game with 283.6, and he's been pressured on 36% of his dropbacks, which is the 12th most in the NFL. So Geno's working hard back there. How can this Seattle offense come against this Bills defense? We know they're struggling a little bit, but I think let's talk on the other side. What does Geno Smith have to do to be successful and maybe avoid that amount of dropbacks?
Well, it starts with running Kenneth Walker a lot. Zach Charbonnet, getting him some more carries as well. You got to be able to go out there and run the football and kind of take the pressure off Geno. Geno Smith is a quality quarterback. Said that for many years, said that when he was coming out of West Virginia. But most quality quarterbacks need a complement, a very strong running game. They have that. It hasn't been consistent because teams have been taking it away. They're saying, Geno Smith, we don't believe you could beat us consistently, and that's what's happened. So when he's had great games and they've gone out there and won along with their defense, great. But when they've taken the running game away and made Geno Smith beat them, we saw that struggle. We saw those struggles happen to them several times. We saw it even with the Giant game. You think about the Giant game, they won that game, but it wasn't because of Geno Smith's arm. Okay, so it was their defense stepping up and special teams stepping up at a key moment in that game. But Seattle's got to come out consistently and run the football. You drafted Kenneth Walker to do that, but they're not getting it done on the ground. I don't know if it's a mix of the offensive line not being consistent enough, moving bodies off the line of scrimmage. I don't know if it's more of a flow of the offense. The coordinator just doesn't have a feel for these guys yet in order to say, okay, I know I can attack teams early, or I need to probe them a little more to find the weaknesses that I can attack them later in the game. I'm not sure which one of those is more the reason why their offense can be inconsistent running the football right now. But right now, when you look at it, that's the main reason why Geno Smith is throwing for all these yards, because the running game just isn't helping enough.
Yeah, when I said offensive heavy, I was including Kenneth Walker, just so everybody is clear. I'm not thinking that it's going to be a high-flying game like Christy Love said last week, and we saw C.J. Stroud only throw 86 yards, by the way. So if you took that double, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you just don't want, but you don't want Geno Smith to be leading in passing yards, right? That's not the recipe for a long playoff run if you're the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, that's very true. I think that's going to be that's a great point. All right, to follow up, back to Joe here talking Bills. So Amari Cooper, we all saw the clip of Keon Coleman helping him out, blah blah blah. I think it's a great motion. Amari was there for 4 days, right? Like, he needs help. How do you think he's going to be today against a Seattle defense that's a little bit more difficult? I would say. I think they're stronger. The cornerbacks have way better pressure. It's just going to be a more difficult matchup for Keon and Amari. So break it down.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're going up against a tougher pass defense, like you mentioned, so I think they're going to have to work a little bit harder. I think Coleman's definitely been a big play receiver for the Bills. I think if I'm Buffalo, you got to get your tight ends involved more. Kincaid, you got to get Knox involved. Those are the guys that can kind of open up things. If you have to be concerned about the middle of the field, if you're the Seattle Seahawks, that can open up things on the outside. Amari Cooper is not the Amari Cooper of old, where he's taking the top off the field, but I think he's a guy that if you give him the opportunity to make a big play, he still can. So I think if Josh Allen can use his backs, use his tight ends, that can make the job a little bit easier for those Bill receivers, because their receiver group has definitely improved with the addition of Cooper, and you would think another full week of practice to get acclimated to the playbook and with Josh Allen, things like that, they should be improved this game. We'll have to see, but I think the running backs and the tight ends being used in the passing game will help the wide receiver group a lot for Buffalo.
Okay, this sounds like if you're playing fantasy football, Kenneth Walker and James Cook are going to eat.
Yeah.
You're both like,
I
yeah.
agree.
All right, Jeff, back to Seattle. Possibly no DK Metcalf. And JSN has shown us flashes of good progress. I think he's leading Seattle with receptions right now, so he's clearly getting targeted. How do you incorporate him more against, I would say, a struggling Bills secondary pass rush or secondary? I mean, I think it's not their best that we've seen throughout the years.
Well, what you want to do is you want to get Lockett involved early. He's going to help open up things for your other receivers. Those tight ends that they have are going to help, Noah Fant being one of them. But the guy that's got to really stir the drink up for the Seattle receiving core is going to be Jackson Smith-Njigba. That's the guy that's really got to come out today and blow it up for him. Not so much Lockett. Lockett's an older player, still has some explosiveness in him. He's a good guy to move around the formation and create matchups with. But the guy that you really want to attack Buffalo's secondary with is Jackson Smith-Njigba, the guy who could take the top off a defense, who can catch the ball in intermediate zones and run after the catch. That's the guy that's really got to have the big game if Seattle's going to be able to throw the football effectively and consistently against the Buffalo Bills.
All right, so Greg took my hot take, my hot, like, whatever it's called. I can't think of the word right now. This is not this game.
No, that's a different game, yes.
Oh,
that's the Eagle game.
I was like, wait, am I talking about the Bengals? Okay.
Yeah, me too. I was hard now.
I'll bring that tip up later. Okay, so overall, playing in Seattle is hard. We've talked about it. It's been written everywhere. Do you think Buffalo has that offensive ability, back to Joe, for your team to really get things done in Seattle?
I do. I think that Josh Allen's that matchup with the quarterbacks, who I think the better quarterback is between the two. I'd say Josh Allen. So I think because Buffalo has number 17 under center, and because some of the weapons they have, I think that Buffalo has what it takes to get the job done. Not giving my pick yet to rapid fire, but is it capable for Buffalo to win? Yeah, it is.
Okay, and what about you, Jeff? Make your battle. Can Seattle get it done? Oh, that was my rhyme of the day.
Seattle can get it done for several reasons. One, I believe they have the pass rush to impact Josh Allen in the pocket. I believe they have the scheme that can also slow him down, allow that pass rush to get there. Their secondary, I've been on Witherspoon since he was drafted coming out of Illinois, one of my favorite corners in that class. He's come into Seattle, has been a huge addition, playing in the slot, physical, able to blitz, comes up against the run, can cover anybody in the slot. So I think Seattle can get this done with that defense and some real smart plays on offense as far as running the football, finding some big plays down the football field, like I said, with Jackson Smith-Njigba, getting Lockett open and creating plays for him as far as getting short first downs and it kind of changing the pace of the game.
Yeah, I definitely think if we're relying on Geno in the third quarter and it's tied or something, that's where the Bills can definitely take this over. So I feel like this will be a very fun matchup, and we will reveal all of our rapid fire picks later, obviously, with everyone tuning in. All right, next up, we've got, I don't know if this is my favorite matchup because the Niner game's at night, but that one's kind of ugly, which we're obviously going to talk about. The Eagles are heading to Cincinnati, and I mean, both of these guys are looking for a win. I'm just keeping it real. I think the Bengals have started off struggling, to say the least, as have the Eagles. Offensively, they haven't been able to get things done. It's taken them a long time. Everyone's desperate to just get another W. And one quick stat for the Eagles. The defense has not allowed a touchdown in 9 straight quarters. So I'm going to give Joe the Bengals. For the Bengals, you're reading that, you're hearing that. T. Higgins may not be here. I feel like he's a huge slot minus if you're taking on this Eagles defense, which is like not that strong. And Jamar Chase, there's just a lot going on. So offensively, what are the Bengals looking to do to really take over? If you're reading that they have not allowed a score in 9 quarters.
I think for Cincinnati, you got to figure out some kind of remnants of the running game. I mean, the loss of Joe Mixon wasn't talked about enough in the offseason. If you take a look at their running game right now with Zach Moss, and then I think everybody who knows me knows my 2 favorite quarterbacks in the NFL, hands down, are C.J. Stroud and Joe Burrow. And I think that Joe Burrow just needs to, I don't know, I mean, like you said, desperate for a win. Cincinnati really, really needs it. You see flashes of it, of Jamar Chase and Burrow still having that connection, explosive plays, but somehow in the 4th quarter, the Bengals find a way to bungle it up and get a loss. They really need to win. I think you have to figure out a way to establish that running game. And maybe it's not traditional runs. Maybe it's draws, it's tosses, maybe it's screens and to your running back, something to make the Eagles defense have to think about things. If it's just going to be Joe Burrow going back 35, 40 times and throwing the ball, I like the Eagles' chances of possibly being able to slow that down. I think if you start mixing in the run and the run's effective, it makes it a lot harder for that Philadelphia, a.k.a. Georgia University defense to stop Joe Burrow and company.
Okay, Jeff, did you know the Eagles have not scored in the 1st quarter in 8 straight games dating back to last year? So clearly the offense is struggling. And A.J. Brown is back. We saw it last week. He did very well. So how do you mix things up and really get the win here?
You ride Saquon Barkley. and it starts there, okay? This team, everybody says it's Jalen Hurts. Yes, Jalen Hurts does a lot for this team. However, you have a special player in Saquon Barkley to go along with him. You ride him. You get him involved early. It doesn't mean you just keep handing the ball off to Saquon Barkley. You work him out of the backfield. He's a guy you can motion out to a receiver and work him in a short game and in space where he's getting catches and the ball in space versus linebackers and DBs as opposed to getting hit by defensive linemen and linebackers. So he's a guy you can move around the formation and play games with. You let him to run the ball, you throw him some balls out of the backfield, then you spell him with those other 2 running backs. That is how you get this offense moving early. It's all about establishing your identity early. What you've seen from the Eagles, especially when the receivers were hurt, it was a different story. But since those 2 receivers came back, it's still been a slow go in the beginning because, plain and simple, they have to establish it, and then all of a sudden it opens up when Saquon starts to pop, and later in the 2nd quarter and the 3rd quarter, this offense gets moving. You don't want to wait that long, okay? I think this team has to come out and start doing all of that stuff early, giving the defense a reason to think about multiple things, and it'll put a defense on their heels where the basics come back to working. So if you're able to come out there, give them a couple of things during the week that they haven't seen on film, where they're going, whoa, we didn't see this, we don't know how to react. Make them get basic, come back and start hitting them. All of a sudden, all that stuff opens up. That's one of the reasons why when you're game planning during the week, yes, you're looking to see what that team does and how you can attack them. But sometimes it's about also giving them 1 or 2 things on that first drive they haven't seen yet and seeing how they react. If they're running around frantic, you know you've got them, because what's going to happen is they're going to start thinking about, okay, what else are they going to show us that we haven't seen? And when you hit them, boom, 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 you come back to the stuff that's been working, and all of a sudden now they're on their heels because they don't know what to expect at all. The stuff they planned for is working, the stuff they didn't plan for is working, and they've lost their confidence. Now you can just continue to work your game. You're setting the tone. They're not setting the tone early. It's almost like they're probing and trying to figure out what's going to work, and then all of a sudden they start popping later on. If teams get a lead on you, that's a hard way to keep playing football. So you don't want to give Cincinnati that kind of confidence. You want to come out, you want to attack Cincinnati, hit them early, and make them play from behind.
Yeah, I think that's a very strong point because we've seen the Bengals defense frantic. I think in the first 7 games, it's very safe to say that they have not looked like they've been jiving just yet. And this might be the matchup, but I think starting off with Saquon, that's the reason you guys brought him here, right? So, all right, back to Greg's hot note, which is what I was going to bring up, is that today we have 2 twins taking off. Chase Brown, the running back for the Bengals, and his twin brother, Sidney Brown, which is a safety, if he's healthy. And 2 twins haven't played against each other since 2008. Do you guys know the names by chance? I don't know if it's on here.
Sidney Brown and Chase.
No, the 2008 duo.
Oh, 2008. No, I don't remember.
Wait a minute.
You can drink a fruity drink at this place. That's the first one.
Yeah, well, trust me. When it comes to names, once I get out of a draft cycle, I am totally. I'll remember faces all day. Names on the other hand.
Tiki and Ron Barber.
Oh, TK and Rondé. Yeah, okay.
Yes, Rondé.
That's embarrassing, Jeff, for as much football as we watch.
Well, listen, you've had several sets of twins come in, so I couldn't tell you the last couple of matchups after the most recent ones. No. Hell, the amount of brothers we got in the league, I couldn't remember the last time.
I think that's what I was touching on. We've got brothers here.
That's definitely a Greg and Bill thing. Those guys are going to remember all.
Okay, next time I'll ask them that. All right, before we roll into our final matchup, let's take a quick break, and we will be right back.
You are watching Team NBS Media. We are a digital media brand covering sports, entertainment, and lifestyle, with team members all across the country. Through our written content, podcasts, and video content, we bring you fresh and professional content. Interested in joining the team? Shoot us an email or DM. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
The time is almost here. Our picks for the week coming next on Moving the Chains, the only way to start your football Sunday.
Welcome back, everyone. That was a quick break. Like I said, I needed some water. So we're back. We're going to talk our last game, and then we're going to roll into some fantasy because I realized we haven't talked fantasy football in a couple weeks. The game of the century. The 49ers are down bad. They are down so bad. They have their 3 wide receivers are like the youngest and like not taking any snaps, essentially. That's Ricky Pearsall there in that photo because the man got shot. And I think this could be the game that he really explodes, which is to say something after a 7-week recovery. Of course, the Cowboys. Greg said he was angry, and we all know why. And if you don't know why, it's because of them boys. And they're struggling. They're coming to the Bay, taking on a team that got absolutely torn up by that Chiefs offense and defense. I mean, when you allow Patrick Mahomes to put a shoulder down on you in the end zone, like I said last week, I am holding on to the grudge. Remember, I was like, I don't know why people keep saying forget the past. I'm remembering that shit for the rest of my life. If I'm not Niners team, I'm like, oh my God, that was just too much. He's running downfield. Like, he had nothing else to do. He really had nothing else to do. And then what do? DeAndre Hopkins is there, but we're not talking about the Chiefs. Anyways, back to this matchup. So I'm going to give Jeff the Niners. I feel like it's only right. So, Jeff, when you're coming off these injuries, Brock's thrown 3 interceptions against the Super Bowl champions. What are you doing in the locker? How are you changing your mindset for the next 6 days to get to the Sunday Night Football?
I'm going back to the film. I'm looking at what I'm missing. What is causing these mistakes? Is it a situation where I'm not trusting my guys that are running downfield? Am I over anticipating things? Am I missing something in the defense that I should be seeing? You have to go back to the film. The film doesn't lie. Okay, it's the first thing that's going to tell you, hey, you missed this read. Okay, you threw it into the flat. There was a flat defender sitting underneath it. You got picked off. You didn't feel the pressure coming from the backside. You got to know when that backside pressure is coming. So you go back to the film. It's going to tell you everything that you need to see. Then you go back out there and practice, and you start looking for those things. When you're out there, you got a new opponent. So your opponent's going to do some things very similar to the last opponent. Okay, so you got to look out there, and when you're going through your game plan, you're trying to make sure you're processing your reads properly. You're getting extra work in with your receivers to make sure the timing's there. So you're not waiting for guys to get open. You're anticipating the throws in those windows. Okay, that's one of the things we talk about with good quarterback play is anticipation. Okay. One of the things I try to make sure I press with my quarterbacks when I'm coaching them is plain and simple. You do not look at the receivers. The receivers, you know where they are. You work with them every day. You're looking at the coverage so you know where your windows are, where to throw the football. You trust your guy is going to be there. So that's what he has to get to doing. Now, it's going to be hard to do when you have Ayuk out for the season, when you have a beat-up Deebo Samuel who was, had the flu as well. So you have to rely on George Kittle, who's a Cowboy killer. So good news for that. You have to rely on some of these receivers like Pearsall to come out there. I hope you get some extra work in because plain and simple, you want to be able to, like I said, anticipate and throw in the windows based on the coverage, not on waiting on a guy to get open. In the NFL, if you're waiting for a guy to get open and throwing the ball, it's usually too late. Defenders are breaking it up or picking it off.
Well, the 49ers are taking on a completely different defense from last week, Joe. That's where you get to come in. The Cowboys are down bad. The Cowboys are struggling. Still no Micah Parsons. I mean, it's pretty ugly. It's been pretty ugly, to say the least, for the Cowboys. So they've had a week off. Like I said, everyone gets a bye week before they face the Niners. I said that last week. So what are the Cowboys defense doing kind of to repeat the same success the Chiefs had against Brock Purdy?
Well, I mean, I will say for Dallas, there are few quarterbacks in the NFL who are as good coming off the bye week as Dak Prescott is, believe it or not. So I think you have that going for you. I think if I'm Dallas, you just got to hope that the bye week you able to get right. I mean, like you said, you saw what San Francisco did or didn't do last week. So hopefully you've used that to help kind of come up with your game plan and figure out what your plan of attack is going to be. I mean, what better time to have a breakout game for your whole squad than against your rival? I mean, if Dallas come out here this week and Dallas wins this game, and let's say they win big, what a big bounce and boost. I mean, they're the talk of the town all the time, win or lose. If they were able to somehow win this game, that's going to be feel-good vibes for the whole organization. So I think in terms of like what team is under the most pressure coming into this game, definitely has not been the season the 49ers thought they were going to have. But I think there's more pressure on Dallas. And again, Mike McCarthy, I think I've read somewhere he's like 13-3 or 13-2 coming off the bye week. I'm going to take Ashmere said before, I'm still thinking about the past and keeping that forefront of my mind. And if you go based off the past, all signs point to Dallas coming in hot in this game, doing the right thing and doing what they have to do to get a dub. But I think if I'm Dallas, you definitely got to rely on the past, which is Dak Prescott off a bye week, gets the damn job done.
Yeah, also we know there's a long form history between these two. I mean, the Niners have literally taken over the past 5 matchups that they've had, either in high scoring game or the defense really showed up and it was like 14-19 or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. I see you have a clip here, Jeff. Do you want to show it?
I'm gonna show it, but I was talking about the other team.
Oh,
so, but since we have Greg in the chat, last week I put out a video, and basically it was that the Cowboy fans didn't like it very much, but it told them the truth. They were trying to get they're pressuring Jerry Jones to step down and get a GM. I got news for you. They ain't happening, right? But what you can fix if you're the Cowboys is what's going on the field. But the problem that we're having with the Dallas Cowboy players right now is they're in excuse mode. 3-3. You're not 3-3 because of Jerry Jones. You're 3-3 because of the play that you're seeing. And what made the news media this week, the excuse that they came up with is that we are distracted by these people.
Oh, yes.
Tours. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So you're telling me tours are the reason that you're playing like this? I don't see any fans in the way there. I'm sorry. How about on this play? Let's look at the right tackle. Is there a fan in the way right here? No, there's no fan there either. Oh, so obviously it's not the tours that are killing you. It's your softness that's killing you, because all of these clips show softness. Watch the softness that's going to come up on the right here. Soft. Oh, that is straight softness. Okay. Now, if you're going to blame fans for that, I'm working out and there's a fan walking by and I'm soft and I'm playing soft because that fan is walking by. And guess what? 3-3 is who you are. You're probably going to be 6-10, 6-11 if you keep that up. right? Enough's enough. Stop looking for excuses. Okay, Michael Irvin can go over, give all the motivational speeches on TV all he wants. If you're looking for excuses, you're blaming fans for that right there. Guess what? Mike McCarthy's getting fired. We know Dak Prescott's already got a contract. We know CeeDee Lamb's got a contract. There'll be a new coach in Dallas, and some of them soft dudes that are on that film probably won't be there next year either.
Yeah, I do think that was a very distracting article to come out. Sorry, Joe, what were you saying?
I like a fired up Jeff. I'm ready to suit up. I'm good to play.
Don't be soft.
Listen, I played at a level where we had maybe the best games we had were 2,000 people in the stands. Okay, so fan distraction is not an excuse. I'm sorry. People at your practices watching is not an excuse. All right. People that watching you work out in the weight room is not an excuse. I'm sorry. If you're a professional football player, I scout 500 kids a year that are dying to get to that level that would love to have people watching them work out. If that's your excuse for that kind of play, dude, hand it your equipment, give your money back, and go somewhere else. There's plenty of analyst jobs out there for former NFL players.
I mean, it is a little distracting, but I don't think, the clip shows it all.
You either love the game or you love what it gives you. And obviously there are guys that love what it gives them.
What were your thoughts on the article, Joe?
I think with Dallas Cowboys is just, I see with the whole hashtag fire Jerry Jones or get a GM movements happening, but like Jeff said, he's not giving it up at all. He'll give it up when they put him 6 feet under. No disrespect to Jerry Jones, but that's just the truth. I think if you're the Cowboys, you got to look yourself in the mirror and figure out, how do we get better? Have some pride in yourself. Have some pride in the guys that came before you to put on that jersey. I think it comes down to that. Also coaching too, and not just Mike McCarthy, but like offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, coach your guys, put them in positions to make good plays. And if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing as far as like assignments or running the play supposed to be, then replace them, man. You got nothing, like Jeff said, you have nothing to lose, literally. You're looking at being under 500 if you don't get things done, if you don't get things fixed and get them corrected quickly. You're looking at being under 500, which is going to give the media and the scary fans all the ammunition they need to talk bad about you. So I think when it comes to the Cowboys, it's on the players. Got to look yourself in the mirror. What can I do to make my team better? What can I do to help my team win? Is my opinion on Dallas. Yeah,
you don't have a fan problem. You got a heart problem, right? You got dog walked at home by the Saints. You didn't show any fight the next time when the Ravens came to town, right? You turn around, you get dog walked again by the Lions, and now you're going to go out to the West Coast and face a team that's dog walked you 4 straight times. I think it's time you either show up here or get the stepping. It is what it is at this point. That's who you are. You're either the team that loves to bully people or you love to get bullied. And right now, that's who they are.
So back to the matchup. The most successful offensive point I think that the Niners can take advantage of, back to Jeff, is Jordan Mason. So running against Dallas has been pretty simple. We just saw 3 plays. It looks like you could get through at any point in time. So how do the Niners take advantage of that? Obviously, without running Jordan Mason into the ground.
Well, use those 5 guys up front, because that's been the success for every team that's run on Dallas. It's not just the runners. It's the guys up front, moving bodies, staying on blocks. Dallas has shown that they are soft. Right, there's no other excuse for it. It's not a scheme thing. It's not always a personnel thing. It's just they're playing out soft. They are a finesse team. Finesse teams don't like to be manhandled. That's how you've beaten Dallas the 4 times you've beaten them. Well, guess what? You can beat them again tonight by doing the same thing you've done. Go out there, be physical at the line of scrimmage, play bully ball, play your boom box coming out the tunnel, and plain and simple, come down there and just manhandle them for 60 minutes of football, because that's who they are right now. And they're a wounded animal that doesn't like to fight. So there you go. That is the way you do it. Go out there, beat them, brutalize them for 60 minutes, and you'll be out of this no problem, 4-4, while Dallas will be 3-4.
So on the 49ers side, the defense has been, I think they started off stronger than they are in the mid-season. And CeeDee Lamb feels like their number 1 target. Joe, what can the 49ers do here to just combat any explosive plays?
I think you got to make it harder on CD. I mean, maybe you bring a safety down, because besides CD Lamb, who's the other really big offensive threat that's been explosive plays for Dallas this season? I think that's the key right there. But like I said before, Dak has just been so good coming off the bye. I don't think he's going to be relying solely on CD Lamb. He's going to be trying to get other guys involved, spread the ball a little bit around. I think for the Dallas Cowboys, if they're looking to win this game, a couple things they have to do real quick. They have to limit explosive plays in the 49ers. You got to dominate the trenches. And like Jeff just talked about, you got to stop Mason for running. Those are the three things Dallas has to do if they want to have any chance of winning this game. Limit explosive plays, limit that 49er running game, and you got to make sure that on the offensive line and defensive line, you're the ones that are pushing guys around and dictating where you want people to go. But based on Jeff's clip, that might be easier said than done.
We can only
finesse. Yeah, the matchup is finesse versus blunt force trauma. Okay, there you go. All right, there you go. That's your matchup tonight.
Do you expect this to be a high-flying offensive passing game?
For the Cowboys, it better be.
Okay.
It better be. First of all, you're not consistent running the football, so you're not going to go out there and run at these guys like that. Right. And your defense is going to give up points tonight. I don't give a darn what receiver San Francisco trots out there. They're going to run it down your throat. They're going to run it down your throat. They're going to hit you with the play action like they did in the past. Okay? And they're going to continue to move the football. You don't have a pass rush to affect Brock Purdy consistently. So you better come out and Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Tolbert and every receiver running offense better gird up and go out there and make it happen. And yes, Dalvin Cook is playing tonight, but guess what? It ain't going to matter. If you can't open it up enough holes for him, listen, Dak Prescott's going to throw 45 times tonight to 50 times tonight, whether it's a win or a loss. Okay, he's throwing 45 to 50 times tonight.
So I don't think there's a Juwan Jennings showing as well. He's not ruled out yet.
That's not a recipe for victory at all. 45 to 50 times, not what you want.
That's who they are right now. When you're a finesse team, and you can't move bodies, that's who you are.
Seems like just yesterday the Dallas was supposed to be touting one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, and they just bully people and punch you in the mouth, and
they got old real fast. Yeah. Right. You know, we saw it. Tyron Smith, he's a Jet. He's struggling. He's old. Right. Zach Martin struggled against Detroit. He showed how old he was last week. Yeah, it's a different game when you're getting older. No, Father Time is undefeated.
Sad day. Well, we'll roll into our rapid fire after that. But let's talk some fantasy. I think we have missed out on a couple weeks, and that is due to my lack of acknowledgement of where I am in the standings. It hasn't changed. Still at the bottom.
3-game losing streak over here. Woo-hoo.
All right. Who are your must-start players in fantasy today, Joe?
I think I'd go with a guy who I think might be available in some leagues, but because of so many injuries, he might have been scooped up already. I think that's Chase Brown. I think that's a guy that's definitely worth picking up if he's available in your league. Stop watching the show, log on and grab him really quick. That's a guy I think's a must start for sure. If I had to pick one person.
What about you, Jeff?
You know what?
He's looking up right now. I saw him.
No. I'm looking at the matchups. I got the rapid fire on the other screen, so I'm looking at the matchups. I'll tell you what, a guy I would think would be a great guy to start today would be DeAndre Hopkins making his debut with Kansas City. Okay, we're talking
layup.
Right, what we're talking about they're playing the Raiders right now, a team that's kind of struggling to put it together. But you're talking about he needs this addition. Okay, right? Yes, he has a young rookie who's fast, but he's lost so many other receivers. Juju is just a possession receiver. You need a guy that can make a couple of big plays for you, a guy that you could just throw it up and make it happen. He gives them the best option of that. I think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback to bring that out of people, to have anything left. You see, Juju had his best year since Pittsburgh, with Patrick Mahomes. All right, so I think when you look at it, that's the best fit for a guy that's going to come out there that may have been on a waiver wire before this week. the grab and start today would probably be DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay, it's a good pick. Are you starting Jaden Daniels today if he is playing?
I'm going to say no, just because I understand he's playing. But, I mean, Jeff probably knows better than I do. You're only one hit away from being back on that bench. The shot will last you a while. You get to that third quarter, fourth quarter, he's feeling good, he scrambles and gets hit in that ribcage area. So I think that's kind of risky. I don't know if you can start Jaden Daniels. I wouldn't risk it.
I would start him because when you think of Chicago's defense, they're a team that gives up yards, right? They're going to give up yards. They're going to give up some points. So I think you can get a touchdown at least out of them. I think you can get at least 250 yards passing out of them. So if you have the ability to start a consistent starter at quarterback and still get at least 18 fantasy points, you do it. So I would start him unless you have better faith in your backup, getting you more than 20 fantasy points to 30 fantasy points. Then, yeah, I would start him.
Let's even see what QBs are out there. All right, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers.
But they got to be available. They got to be available, so they can't be on somebody else's team, right? So
no, these are. I'm telling you off my waiver wire. These are.
On the waiver wire, really? Wow,
Daniel
Kirk Cousins
Jones
on the waiver wire. Well, there's a reason why Daniel Jones is on the waiver wire.
Well, then it gets bad. I named you the best
right now live.
He's probably averaging about 14 fantasy points a game, which is not something you want out of your quarterback. So that's the reason why he's on the waiver wire. I'm shocked Kirk Cousins is on the waiver wire, but I'm not shocked by Daniel Jones.
All right, are you starting Drake May against the Jets?
No,
I am not.
In the words of Jeremy Irons, not a chance.
Okay, well.
My bold move this week, I don't know how I got both quarterbacks, but I benched Mahomes. I'm going with Jordan Love against the Jags.
I would very great
against the Raiders.
Yeah, but the Raiders defense, Jacksonville's defense is trash. So hopefully Jordan Love can get me where I need to be.
That's a good pick. Yeah.
Greg is on that Ray Davis train today. So if he's there, I doubt it.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. I don't have any other hot teams. Oh, no, my favorite one, because that's where you guys usually find success, is the defense. Which defensive teams are you starting today?
Denver.
Detroit going
Carolina.
Detroit going against Tennessee. I picked that Lions defense, even without Hutchinson. They're going to have some opportunities to get interceptions, plays like that. I'd go with Detroit Lions.
Denver, I think that they limit Carolina's offense. They're going to get turnovers. We know Carolina right now is a struggling team. They're trying to figure things out with quarterbacks. I think Bryce Young comes back to the quarterback position this week. So,
bench game.
So yeah, I definitely go back to saying, hey, give me Denver, a team that's playing very well offensively and defensively. Give me Denver in that matchup.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. If you had a fantasy question answered, you're welcome. Let's talk.
The time is almost here. Our picks for the week coming next on Moving the Chains, the only way to start your football Sunday.
My bad. I played the wrong thing. But we're doing our rapid fire picks. So please drop your rapid fire selections in the chat because we've got Jeff here taking over.
It's that time of the day, and how can you not start with Baltimore and Cleveland, a division rivalry, one of the early games today, and probably on purpose by TV standards, being the way Cleveland's playing. They're not worth a prime slot in their eyes. What say you, Baltimore, Cleveland? Greg's already gone Ravens.
Well, the unanimous is going to hit. I'm picking Baltimore.
Yeah, same. I can't go Cleveland. That's
no Deshaun.
Ashmere, you're not even leaving room for spoilers and
that's one game. Okay, we got all.
She just went straight. Yeah, and the unanimous pick is going to hit on Baltimore. Wow, we no drama in that. Where's the TV in that?
Don't worry, there's a lot more games that will have that drama.
Where's the TV in that? I mean, come on.
This is a different kind of TV show, Jeff. We start off with the drop. We start off with the action first.
Go, Jameis Winston.
Yeah. You can even say, will he be eating a W today? You didn't even give us the chance to say that.
I mean, the Browns are a team we're going to talk about.
You just smacked him before we even got to fully mention him. Oh, man.
I'm excited to hear his pregame speech. He does a good. He gives a great pregame speech.
Yeah, I can't wait till they post it on social media.
When it comes to pregame speeches, he's like the ultimate warrior.
Yes.
Most of it doesn't make sense, but the energy is what fires you up, right? That's Jameis Winston. Even Greg McCoy was like, "Yeah, we would know what the hell he was saying, but his energy really was." Yeah. Tennessee and Detroit at Detroit.
Give me the Lions.
Really? That's like really. Is anybody picking Tennessee?
Yeah, I'm not. I know that much. So we're going
Tennessee. The floor is yours to explain why. Oh, we got the music back.
For the picks.
There's the beat dropping. There you go. All right. Indianapolis at Houston.
I think this is the CJ Stroud revenge game. Because he was held back by that Packers defense.
I lone wolfed on the Pack last week, by the way.
That was a very good pick.
I
do remember that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think anybody's picking the Colts in this.
I think Joe Mixon's got 2 touchdowns, saving the day for everyone out there.
Yeah, I was trying to make it interesting. I was going to go Indianapolis, but no, I go to Houston. I can't go against.
No, think of your record, Joe.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
Joe, your hesitation said it all. You were not about to go with them. Trust me.
It'd have been 24-0 Houston second quarter. I got a text. Really, Joe? Colts?
The division matchups can be iffy. I will go with the favorite in this one because the way the Colts have played so far this year, I'm not taking them to beat a better team.
Yeah.
I'll rather be wrong in that matchup than be wrong and picking them and thinking that they're going to actually upset. Right?
Either way, you'd rather be wrong the other way.
Yes. I'd rather they surprise me than to feel great or feel bad about picking them knowing everybody else got to win and I was the fool that lone wolfed on them. Yeah, no. That feeling is way worse. All right. Moving on. Green Bay down here in sunny Florida at Jacksonville.
I mean,
Jordan Love goes crazy.
Jordan Love, yeah. Go, Pack, go. This is looking like a scary lineup that we've already picked, just saying.
Yeah, I was like, man, we're really on a roll here.
Wow, nobody's going with the Jags, huh? They've been better the last couple of weeks. No. Okay.
I think Green Bay players are so happy to get out of Green Bay in the fall when it gets colder. They're picking up that shrub.
Arizona, Miami. Big matchup, the return of Tua Tagovailoa. I know a lot of Tyreek Hill fantasy owners are excited about that.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think Tua will be good, but I think Kyler will be a little bit better.
Yeah, I got the Cardinals too.
Greg is with you. Greg
is not to explore off the Cardinals after they screwed me 3 weeks in a row. I'm back.
This will be like a fantasy feast, you know? There's going to be a lot of people getting the ball, a lot of scoring getting done.
Marvin Harrison Jr., figure it out, Arizona Cardinals. Good Lord.
Oh, my God. No way. Wow, crazy.
The return of Tua gets them to win. They finally have capable quarterback play in Miami enough to get the win. I'm sorry. That team was devoid of very good quarterback play when he was out. and it showed. They had no offense
That
whatsoever.
was awful.
All right. This one should be easy, but both teams have been utterly disgusting. So Jets, Patriots.
This is kind of hard.
I'll jump
Go
out
first.
the window. I'll go Patriots.
Okay, Joe.
They muck the game up and find a way to make it ugly. Their defense puts the offense in good position to get some easy points. I go New England.
Ashmere.
I'm going to go Jets.
Okay.
I think Devontae is going to have 2 touchdowns.
All right. So after the Jets, I said it last week, I'm going to have a hard time picking you if you lost last week. After you get Devontae, you give Aaron everything he wants.
Yeah.
If you lose that game, I'm going to have a hard time picking you after that. Then I saw New England on the schedule this week. I got to pick them because it's New England. I don't trust New England either. So,
Wow.
So get that lone wolf for yourself, Joe, because you're the only one going with New England.
That's okay. He's helping Aaron Rodgers in his own way.
Yeah, he's watching the show right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Falcons at Tampa Bay. And notice Buccaneer Bruce has made a comeback for today. That's what we're bringing out the creamsicles for today. So
Oh,
Buccaneer
God.
Bruce is up there.
What is that logo?
Yes, that is not the flag. That is Buccaneer Bruce. He is back for today. You will see old school Buccaneers today when they take the field with the creamsicle uniforms, the white helmet with Buccaneer Bruce, not the flag.
Too many injuries. No Godwin. No Evans. Falcons.
Greg is still formulating. Falcons, Buccaneers both need wide receivers. That's not a prediction, Greg.
Yeah, I was very confused. I was like, so who wins?
You go, Jeff.
Oh, you're going to wait for me, huh?
Yeah.
You're going to wait for me. Greg is going Falcons. All right. So, Buccaneer Bruce is quickly disappearing. But my Schwami hat came on early in the season when they played on Thursday night, and I said the Buccaneers and the Falcons, they always split every year, right? The Falcons, right? It's like they split every year. The Buccaneers lost in Atlanta. I said they would win at home. Even without the wide receivers, the Falcons are inconsistent. The Buccaneers win at home.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm picking the Bucks.
So Buccaneer Bruce doesn't disappear. He doesn't disappear, folks. He hangs out for the week.
They're believing
I like
in
a good
Baker
split.
Mayfield.
I like a good split. He's on my do not start fantasy list. Baker Mayfield.
All right. So we talked about this matchup earlier, the battle of the twins, the Eagles versus the Bengals. The Brown brothers get to go at it.
I'm going to pick the Bengals.
Really?
I'm a little unsure with that one, but
Listen to Cincinnati. You could say you trust the home team more. There's nothing wrong with that logic.
do I trust the defense? I don't think so, but I'm rolling with it.
I trust Saquon Barkley more. Give me the Eagles.
Yes, that's what I was worried about.
Greg is
But
picking.
Greg also
Greg,
picked the Bengals.
yeah, he's picking with his heart. Greg is picking with his heart.
See what that gets you. I'm in last place.
Okay.
Listen, I'm going with the better team. I'm going with the Eagles.
Okay. Split it up again.
Now it's getting interesting.
Here we go. New
Derek
Orleans.
Carr.
New Orleans versus the Fighting Harbaughs.
This is tough, actually.
Look at that.
I didn't even know these two teams are playing this week. I didn't look that far at the schedule. This is a tough one.
I picked the Chargers last week and they blew it up.
I feel you, Greg. I feel you on that. I don't know if he wins, but he can go off. But I don't know if he wins. Greg's going Chargers. He's going with the Fighting Harbaughs.
I mean, Spencer Rattler hasn't been that bad. I'm going to be honest. I think he's playing pretty well.
I think he's playing pretty decent for Spencer Rattler. I'm going to go with the Fighting Harbaughs, though.
Oh, Joe, just you and I.
Oh man, I'll go Chargers.
Whoa, this is crazy. I guess I'll go Saints. Maybe Alvin Kamara. Is he hurt?
No, he's playing.
Okay.
You up that lone wolf?
This is warranted.
Mind you, you've done pretty well on lone wolves this season, Ashmere.
She might have the best lone wolf record.
His Saints is a very, very.
I don't know. I don't know. That guy coming up in second place has got a great lone wolf record. You know, I'm starting to get like Ali with my lone wolf picks, baby.
Lone wolfing on the Saints is crazy. I just gotta say.
He's full of jive. I'm gonna knock him out in 5.
Okay. The rest of these, the next game are tough.
Here we go. Buffalo, Seattle. We talked this game earlier.
I'm gonna say Buffalo.
I picked against Seattle last week. Blew up in my face. In the words of Chris Berman, no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. I go Bills.
Okay. This is honestly a hard one.
It is a tough game. Yes. And tough matchups mean tough decisions. And sometimes you got to factor in everything. And I'm going to factor in that the 12th man of Seattle gets it done.
Okay.
Greggy, what say you?
All right, let's roll to our next one while we wait.
You got it.
I had to think for the same.
All right, so we got Chicago at Washington. Greg is making me lone wolf on Seattle. Look at that.
Whoa.
Heard that. Happy NFL Sunday, people.
Here we go. Chicago at Washington.
Oh, you already know what I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're going with the Bears, right?
We showed people last week we are more than just Jaden Daniels. Although it was a Panther. I know.
Yeah, go Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, for real. Off the shelf, man. He's got the old school duck shirt.
You know, I don't know who would be more insulted if the new slogan for playing the Carolina Panthers would be so easy a caveman can do it, would be the Panthers or the caveman. So that would be the interesting one, man. Okay, so Greg's going Chicago.
Of course he is. I expect nothing less. I hate his team too.
I'm going to go with Commanders.
Okay.
Welcome.
Yeah. I mean, I'm believing in the Jaden Daniels return game. Maybe he has extra padding on there or something.
Greg doesn't have a lone wolf this week. Well, he does now. He does now.
Oh, Jeff's on the Commanders. Yeah, he's been picking the Commanders the whole time.
Oh, I'm just giving him grief. I know.
Here we go. We got a long week this week, so we got to go to the second page. Normally, the last couple of weeks at all the buys, we've only been on one page. We're on to page 2 today, so don't go anywhere. Here we go. Carolina taking on Denver.
Denver.
Yeah.
I said last
what are we just delete all the Panther?
Yeah. Like, sorry, Bryce.
I would love to see Bryce Young have a good game there, even in the loss.
That Denver defense is going to swallow him up alive.
He survived the SEC. The kid can play, but he's not going to win.
Carolina, we didn't do this to you. David Tepper did this to you. Okay, gives Broncos across the board. All right, Chiefs, Raiders. Greg has already said Chiefs.
I'm not even going to wait to pick on the Raiders.
Minshew's starting for the Raiders, right? It's Minshew again. Oh shit! Yeah, Patrick Mahomes. Welcome to the family, DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I can't believe the Chiefs are 7-0. They're probably like, what is the NFL?
Every game you win, you're one step closer to losing.
Well, I would love it if it was this game, but I'll pick the Chiefs.
Let me warm up my voice. Hold on. No, not now.
I was like, let me drop the music.
I was about to log off, dude. Raiders.
All right.
I got text. I'm done.
Tonight, Cap. Dallas at San Francisco.
Ooh, I'm going to pick the Niners. It's going to be a get-right game, as I said earlier.
I already know where you're going, Joe.
No.
No?
Oh,
No, he's thinking. His wheels are turning. Pinky, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Yeah, give me Dallas. I'll go Dallas.
Give me Dallas? Oh, okay, Joe.
I trust McCarthy and Dak coming off that bye week. Yeah, sure. Even though Fred Warner's like the greatest linebacker in the league right now, I'll still go Dallas.
Greggy? Come on. I know you can do it. Come on.
Oh, man, he logged off.
Cowboys beat the Niners 20-16. He's giving us a score and everything. I wrote in my article. I'm proud of you, Joe, he says. Look at that.
Man, somebody is.
Well, does Ashmere lone wolf here?
Oh, my gosh. After all of the yelling you did.
Does Ashmere lone wolf here?
All the softness that you called them.
Finesse versus blunt force trauma. I told you, listen, bye week or no bye week, during the bye week, you make an excuse about the fans. Well, guess what? You got your ass kicked going into the bye week. You're getting your ass kicked coming out of it. Welcome to San Francisco.
You are a split squad on these. I like it.
Come on, Dallas. Never actually ran anything in my life.
Joe, my prediction is they're going to give you a reason to hate them even more after the night. Okay?
Where's that? No problem.
Now, if I'm wrong and they actually show up and beat San Francisco, I will gladly say it. But for what I have seen from this team so far this season, they are soft.
Somebody get Darren Woodson in there for a 3-game speech.
They don't need Darren Woodson. They need a heart transplant right now.
Ooh, golly.
Okay.
Brutal.
Well, you know who needs more than a heart transplant? Here we go. Giants at Pittsburgh.
The Giants need help.
Oh, Pittsburgh.
I'm going Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson really shut me up.
Hold on.
I was impressed.
Let me make sure that's right. Sorry. Yeah. It's Giants at Pittsburgh. Yeah. Okay. And Greg threw me off with that pick there for a second. I said,
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So Greg is going Pittsburgh. You're going Pittsburgh, Ashmere?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Joe?
Pittsburgh. Daniel Jones is like, I don't know, borrowed time. Not really a good draft class of quarterbacks coming out either. So I'm not sure what the Giants are going to do, but I'll leave the quarterback analysis to the Draft Central guys. But from what I've seen,
it wasn't a great quarterback class, but you know what? The guy that they could have taken would have been better off there than he did in Washington, where the guy didn't want him at all. Yeah. You know, he would have had a better career there than he would have had in Washington. The only question about this game is how many sacks does TJ Watt get?
5.
I'm writing that down. Said 5.
5.
That might be like a parlay or something I can get.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Thursday night, CJ Stroud and the Texans and the Jets.
I picked the Jets before, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You did. We all of us but Joe picked the Jets.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, he's just getting a one gamer here. I'm gonna roll with CJ Stroud again. If I'm not picking CJ Stroud, everyone should think something.
And this game is on the road. I hate.
Greg's got the Texans.
Yeah, I'll go Houston. I almost went New York, but I'll go Houston.
Well, I wasn't almost going New York. They weren't getting my vote. As a proud New Yorker, that team is from Jersey. All right, so there you have your rapid fire picks for this week. And we have quite a few unanimous picks. So the unanimous curse once again sat up last week. We'll see what happens this week.
Hey, can we see the overall record again real quick? I just want to make sure. I want to see how much work
listen, Joe, at one point you were almost 10 games under. You have closed that. You are 4 games under now. So you've had a couple of strong weeks to get back in there. So keep it coming. You get back up to 500. Ashmere, that knock at the door is me.
I'm holding on by a thread.
As the prophet Ludacris said, tick, tick, plot, plot, I'm coming for the number 1 spot.
Nowhere else will you see Ludacris quoted during the show. That was great.
I mean, I think it's the perfect reference. All right. We've got 25, 30 minutes till kickoff. So this is our time to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks, Jeff and Joe. We had a great time, as always. And everyone, be sure to subscribe, like, follow, share, Moving the Chains everywhere that you follow, and Team NBS Media. We will be here every Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So I know it's a little early, but you can stream it anywhere. YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, you got it. Have a great Sunday, everyone, and good luck in fantasy. We will see you again next week.